Just a quick review to just give you a tutorial on how to unpack and get your Accuware bundled printer connected up and out of the box, unpacked, and just set up for label printing. There'll be other videos on how to install the driver and some printing tips as well. But basically, this is what your printer will look like new out of the box. Comes with the small unwinder spindle for your label material, power cord, and a USB cable. By the way, many printers don't come with the USB cable, so that's handy to have that. So this is what it's going to kind of look like new and right out of the box. There's your power supply, and there's your driver disc. The drivers, by the way, are downloadable from Accuware's support webpage. So I've got another unit here that we're going to show you how to just get quickly set up here. So the label material, and we'll get into some tricks and things for saving money on labels, but basically I'm going to do this one-handed, so forgive me here, but you assemble this, you know, like a simple toy that you might get on Christmas. Very simple. These things just slip onto the ends of the spindle. The little flange that you see there should be on the outside so that you have a nice smooth surface against the label material. So I'm going to slip this on here now. Again, I'm doing this one-handed, so forgive me as I hope you had to show some of that. Okay, so I've got that slipped on. Basically, you know, it's very elementary, just fits in only one way. So the label printer is shown here, opened up. The way the lid opens and closes is with this one release mechanism here on the side. Very easy to open up. You could almost do this without this video, right? So it's very simple. So you place this spindle inside the printer. Okay, if I can do this while filming, then you can certainly do it without filming. Anyway, so there's two guides. If your label materials are not 4 inches wide on the spindle, then you'll need to just slide these two little guides in here. I'll show them right a little closer there, but as you push those in, they move in on both sides the same. So it's pretty easy, very easy to get that. And you want to kind of get them so that they're not so snug that they're wrinkling the label material like that, right? You want to just allow some free flow of the material, so just give it a little bit of space. There's the sensor underneath here, and that's the sensor shown right there. It's still going to pick up this label material, even if there's a little bit of movement of the material. But you know, with any of these types of printers from any of the manufacturers, the drifting of the material back and forth, if that slightly happens, then what that means is that your printed image could shift by some slight amount like that. So so that label material is loaded, very easy, right? Close the printer. And one thing what we want to make sure is clear is when you plug in the power cord, that it goes right into that location right there. There's a flange on there that has a flat side. That flat side goes down. Okay, so see, you can see there's 3 pins. So that's probably one thing that we just want to make sure that it doesn't get forced, you know, in any way to turn off the power. So we'll put that back on later. So again, this will be a little difficult for me to do with the video while videoing, but basically make sure that the flat side is facing down. So we're just going to place that inside there. I'm going to just try and do that with one hand here. Okay, and you're going to push that in a little bit. Okay, that's in. And we've got it all powered up here in a second. Let's, again, kind of struggling a little bit with one hand here, but let's go ahead and power that up. Turn the power switch on. Always good to do these types of things, you know, without power, and then power it up after you have it connected up. And no error here. I had already had this material in this machine already, but you can see all you got to do is feed that, line it up, and it's ready to go, ready to print. So that's kind of the unpacking out of the box. Stay tuned for more tutorials on how to use this with Accuware's label connector, loading of the drivers, and some tips on saving money on supplies. The other thing that you will need to do is just your basic, you know, USB cable connection Again, the printer comes with a USB cable. Printer cables, they have like kind of I always say like a barn-shaped connector on the end, right? So you just got to make sure that that is oriented. So I had to flip that upside down here because the connection is oriented that same way. So let's just put that in there. Okay, got that loaded. There. Okay, so got the USB cable in there. Very simple setup here. So we'll go over some of the trade-offs of, like, you know, this material that comes on 1-inch cores versus like a Dymo printer that comes with an even smaller roll. These rolls can be at least 5 inches in diameter inside this enclosure, which is a much larger roll size than with a Dymo printer. So you save, these labels are about half as much money as a Dymo printer. And then if you buy your labels on 3-inch cores, they go down probably another 50%. But we'll go over some tips and tricks on that to save money on your labels. Thanks. This is Accuware's bundled printer for $295 that comes with the label connector.